When you want to please a woman, have you ever gone out of your way, changed who you are, or given up your own happiness? It's not just you. A lot of men are in the same situation and think that this is the key to love and unity. But what if I told you that there is ancient knowledge that tells you to do something different? I am, in fact, talking about stoicism. Today, we're going to get to the heart of Stoic philosophy and talk about 6 rules that you should never break for women or anyone else. It's not about putting the blame on other people or telling you not to care about the women in your life. Not at all. It's about learning how to care for someone in a way that is healthy, kind, and eventually more satisfying for both of you. Let's say you had fun plans, but had to stop them because she said she wanted to do something else. Even though it hurt, you've changed your standards to fit hers. You might not have seen friends in a while because she didn't like them. Sounds like you. We want relationships that are healthy and balanced, but these situations don't lead there. They instead make it easy for anger and a loss of self to happen. Don't worry though, Stoicism can help you find your way. Let's talk about how to handle relationships that are complicated without losing yourself. Are you ready? We should start this trip together. 1. Giving up your freedom when you're full of emotion or the need to please others. It's surprisingly simple to give up our freedom. You might stop plans you were looking forward to in order to hide your interests, or even change your views to fit someone else's needs. It seems like love, but is it? Stoicism asks us to think about these sacrifices. Are we sacrificing our own freedom for love, or are we building a friendship where each person can thrive on their own? Just think about it. Your freedom and honesty are worth a lot. They are the very core of who you are. Not only do you lose a part of yourself when you trade them for someone's approval, but you also set a bad example for the relationship that can't last. Stoicism says that relationships shouldn't be about forgetting who you are. Instead, they should be about growing together, respecting each other, and knowing each other. All of these things are based on the freedom to be yourself. Think about what you want before you bend your will to fit into someone else's world. Are you giving up your freedom out of fear and the need to be liked, or are you doing it out of love and respect? Don't forget that a relationship where both people accept each other's freedom and uniqueness is not only strong, it lasts. Let's not give up our valuable freedom for short-lived praise. Instead, let's follow the timeless advice of Stoicism and look for relationships that respect and enjoy our independence. 2. Not working on your own growth. For a moment, picture yourself on your own road, winding through a forest full of the leaves of life's demands and expectations. Every step forward is a step toward becoming smarter, better, and finally good. Now picture leaving your own road to walk on someone else's, putting their wants and needs ahead of your own. It's not just a side trip, it's keeping you from growing as a person. Epictetus would say that this is a waste of our ability to think and a failure to care about our own growth. It's very important to remember this Stoic lesson when we're in a relationship, especially if we care too much about making our partner happy. Giving up on your own growth, or always putting someone else's wants before your own, can stop you from moving forward and make you lose who you are. They didn't say to improve yourself for your own benefit. They said to do it to make yourself and those around you better people. When we don't work on our personal growth, we not only stop moving forward, but we also keep our partners from seeing the best of us. In the end, how can we really make other people happy and healthy if we're not working on our own ethics and wisdom? Epictetus's lessons tell us that working on ourselves and becoming wise isn't something you do by yourself. It's something that makes our relationships and exchanges with others better. Finding the right mix means making sure that while we're helpful and loving, we're not putting someone else's wants ahead of our own. 3. Keeping your feelings in check. If you hold a beach ball underwater, The harder you push it down, the harder it will pop back up, and it will often do something you didn't expect. In the same way, holding back our feelings to keep the peace in a relationship doesn't solve anything. All it does is delay the eventual outburst of emotions. There is a better way to live than this. Stoics say that we should have a good connection with our feelings, where we recognize, understand, and control them, not one where we deny that they exist. It's not only bad to ignore your emotional needs or stifle your feelings for the sake of a relationship. It can't last. You end up losing touch with both your partner and yourself because of the anger and confusion that stem from it. Stoics say that we should meet our feelings directly, think about them, and then share them in a healthy way. It's about finding the right mix between feeling and reason so that neither one gets out of hand. This philosophy is based on communication. Being honest with yourself and talking about your feelings are not signs of weakness, but of power and self-awareness. In his Meditations, Marcus Aurelius wrote about how important it is to be honest with ourselves and think on all parts of our lives, even our feelings. 4. Giving up your freedom. Due to his sharp intelligence, Seneca warned us not to count too much on outside factors, like partnerships, for our peace and happiness. This doesn't mean we shouldn't value and care for our relationships with other people, but it does mean we shouldn't base our whole sense of happiness or self-worth on them. Take the example of a tree. It may lean toward the sun, like the rain, and even help other living things. But its roots and the food they get from the dirt are what make it grow, stay strong, and even survive. When we depend on someone else for our happiness or sense of self-worth, we're like a tree that needs something outside of itself to stay stable. We could fall over if that source starts to shake. As Seneca warned, we should dig deeper into our roots and get our power and food from within. Getting more independent doesn't mean cutting ties with other people or separating ourselves. Instead, it's about building a strong base within ourselves so that our connections are sources of joy and growth instead of chains or tools. It means putting a lot of effort into our goals and hobbies and building a strong sense of self that can handle the changes and challenges that come with life. To be happy inside, we have to look inside ourselves, be honest, and sometimes have the strength to face our fears. It's about being honest about our wants, fears, and dreams, and realizing that other people can help us get where we want to go, but they can't be our only way. This inner peace gives us power, and it also helps our relationships. When we don't need someone else to fill our gaps, we interact with them from a place of fullness, not lack. Think about a situation in which you are asked to do something that goes against your personal views or goals. For example, you might act like you enjoy a sport that you really don't. Or you might make decisions in your life that aren't in line with your values or goals. Stoicism teaches us how important it is to live in a way that fits with our own nature. This means being aware of and following our beliefs, ideals, and things we like and don't like. Anytime we veer from this road to make someone else happy, we not only stop being ourselves, but we also hurt the relationship's trust and respect. Though he was a Stoic, Seneca wrote beautifully about the inner fortress that every man must build and protect. It's a figure of speech for our core self, our morals, and our good qualities. Giving up these things for short-term love or to escape strife is like not guarding the gates to our castle. People don't form lasting bonds by betraying themselves. They do so by respecting and knowing each other's true selves. Finding common ground while staying true to yourself is what it's all about. The Stoic way of life is not discipline, but deep self-awareness and honesty. We should ask ourselves, is this action in line with my true self? Does it help me get smarter, braver, more fair, or more moderate? If the answer is no, it means you need to stop and think. It serves as a lesson that love and respect, both from ourselves and others, grow when we are true to ourselves and not when we try to please others. Before you do something just to make her happy, think about the Stoic advice that says we should first honor our essence. It's not about being greedy, it's about having respect for yourself. It has to do with making a connection where both people feel supported to be their best and truest selves. Your love doesn't get weaker because of this. Instead, it grows stronger, making your bond not just about the fun of the time, but also about the joy of a shared journey to learn and grow. Imagine your relationship as a journey, ignoring the reason for your passion. Passion can be the wind in your sails, pushing you forward quickly and with joy. But if you don't have the direction of reason to guide you, that wind could blow you off course and hit the rocks. Epictetus and other Stoics taught that we shouldn't be slaves to our urges, but should be masters of them and use knowledge and insight to guide our lives. This doesn't mean denying our wants. It means getting to know them, asking questions about them, and making sure they fit with our bigger goals and ideals. When we're deeply in love, it's simple to let our feelings control our actions, to give in to agreements that go against our beliefs, or to miss warning signs that we would have seen if we weren't so passionate. The Stoics were wise because they taught us that we should look at our feelings through the lens of reason. This way, we can be sure that our actions in relation relationships are not just responses to passing feelings, but decisions we make with clarity and planning. This Stoic concept isn't just about how to handle disagreements or big decisions. It's also about the little things we do every day in our relationships. It means choosing to talk freely instead of angrily, to be patient instead of angry, and to try to understand before jumping to conclusions. We build a connection that is not only intense, but also strong, respected, and deeply linked when we let reason lead these times.